Hi everyone, it's me Gaming Jew and part 24 of 20 questions. You guys know the drill. Let's get right on into it. Number 1. What movie do you think should never be remade? Easy, easy, easy answer. Forrest Gump. Please. Hollywood, do not ever, ever remake this movie. It's perfect just the way it is. Tom Hanks plays Forrest Gump to the absolute fullest. The story, I don't think anybody can recapture it. Robert Zemeckis, perfect director. Everyone was casted perfectly. I don't have any complaints for that movie. So, please, do not remake and do not make a sequel either. Forrest Gump is good the way it is. There's a couple other movies that I think I'd rather not be remade, but if they are, I'd more be like, we'll see how it ends up. Like, Back to the Future is one of those films, for example, which I'm like, I don't know. We'll see how it ends up. Forrest Gump, no. I do not want to see that film be remade. It's made perfectly. I don't think you could ever remake that film. It's just, everything fits perfectly together in that film. Number 2, what are your top 5 cities you'd love to visit? So, in this instance, I'm actually going to go across the world rather than the United States. So, at number 5, I'm going to go with Tokyo, Japan. Tokyo is such a cool, futuristic city with so many neat things to do, especially their vending machines. Oh my. I'd love to go to their vending machines. I'd love to go to their arcades, which I know I would suck ass compared to the locals around there at arcade games, but I'm sure it'd still be fun. Tokyo is just... Japan in general is the number 1 country in Asia I want to visit. Actually, it's tied with Thailand. Japan and Thailand I want to visit very much. Number 4 is Sydney, Australia. Absolutely gorgeous beaches. I'm sure you have to go, I don't know, but I'm sure you have to go pretty far out there to see the animals, but I'd love to see like a kangaroo or a koala out in the wild. That would be so awesome. I'd love to do the beaches. I see that they have meat pies there, which I find pretty cool. Just so many things I'd love to do there. The weather is great. I'd love to visit Sydney, Australia. Number 3 is Quebec City, Canada. I just recently found out about this city. Oh my god, is it ever gorgeous. Holy freaking crap. The way the buildings are built up is like a European city. Maybe even better. I don't know. It's gorgeous. It feels like you're in a small town in Europe. Or not a small town, but in a city in Europe. And it's recently become the city in Canada I want to visit the most. So number 3 is Quebec City, Canada. Now, between number 2 or 1, I'm just going to spoil it. Number 2 is going to be the American city I want to visit the most. The American city I want to visit the most. Number 2 is Boston, Massachusetts. Philadelphia is a city I'd love to visit in a way too, but it's a bit of a crime problem there in certain areas. Boston, well, it has streets that aren't great. has so much freaking history, it's not even funny. I've wanted to go here for years and years and years. It's not even funny. See Paul Revere House, see the trails, see the historical, just so much history, and I'm going there relatively soon, I heard, within the next year or two, or so I think. So I think I am. I've heard something about that. But yeah, no, I'd love to go to Boston. That's at number 2. I'm going to give you some honorable mentions here. Venice, Italy on the gondolas would be freaking awesome. Another one of my honorable mentions is going to be Bangkok, Thailand. I'd rather go to Tokyo probably a little more, but Bangkok, Thailand would be really cool. Another city I'd like to go to is, what's the biggest city in Iceland called? Whatever that is. I'd love to go there, but more Iceland is for like the rural areas. That's one of the number one places in the world I'd love to go to. And finally, I think I'm going to go with Mexico City, Mexico. There's just a lot of history and absolutely delicious food. Number one city in the entire world I want to go to, Paris, France. Okay, that may sound a little bit cliche, but everything about that city just catches my eye. I want to see the Eiffel Tower. I want to see the Louvre. I want to see all the different history and try the delicious French food. It's a place I feel like everybody should go to before they die. And I definitely want to go there, more than any city in the world. So number 1 for me is Paris, France. And that's about it for the cities portion. That took like 5 minutes, but let's get on to question 3. What do you think of 2023 so far? 2023, I had a little bit of a negative attitude at it at first. Like, honestly, the first, I'd say 3.5 months felt like 2022 2.0. But around Easter time, it started to really improve, and I don't have too much to complain about. I think 2023, for the most part, has actually been a way better year than 2022. Yes, it's had some bad moments, but it's also had some really good moments, too. Especially getting Ellie, who is the cutest little rambunctious little weasel you could think about. Oh my god, she is a little cutie. But you got that. I feel like I'm starting to get ideas for YouTube a little bit better this year. Not quite as much as the old days, but I'm starting to get motivation for YouTube again. And one of the biggest things I've come up with this year is my attitude. I used to be a person who focused and lived in the past a lot. But especially in the last few months, I've come to realize I think the best is yet to come. I really do. There has been some things that have happened, like my old friend stopped being my friend, and especially my grandmother passing away, that really affected me negatively. But I also think the best events in my entire life are yet to come. I think in the future I'm gonna get married and have children and stuff like that, and I'm gonna make other friends again. I have a couple, but make more and stuff like that. And it's gonna be really fun, and things are gonna be the biggest part of 2023, I think, is my attitude change. I'm starting to get more of an optimistic attitude. Like, things are not that bad. Things are okay. There's bad moments every once in a while, but the best is yet to come, in my opinion. And I've come to realize that. So, 2023 as a whole has probably been the second best year of the 2020s. I think it has overtaken 2020, just not quite as good as 2021. That year was actually not that bad at all. I can't complain much about 2021. Not much bad at all happened that year. So, yeah, 2023 to me is coming up to be a pretty good year so far. Not the greatest year of all time. In fact, I'd still probably put it in the bottom half of the years of my life and stuff like that. But the fact that I had such a negative attitude, like, oh, this is going to be almost as bad as 2022, to now, almost 3/4 through the year, and I don't think it's half bad. I really don't. Number 4, what's your favorite 2020s film? So films that have come out in the 2020s. So I'll go for each year from 2020 to 2023. 2020 is going to be The Way Back with Ben Affleck. That film is probably one of the best sports movies of all time. It's just so freaking tense. And it's beautifully made, and it's my favorite sports movie of all time, so I love it. 2021 is going to be big shock, Spider-Man No Way Home. Admittedly so, I rewatched this film about a month ago, and maybe it had a little bit to do with the fact that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's characters came back, and all the villains came back, but Tobey and Andrew returned, and all the old villains returned. What can you complain about? And the story was very well written. They brought them in as good as you possibly could. And I honestly don't have too much to complain about. 2022. Here is something big. Very big. My favorite film of 2022 is Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. What happened to the Batman? I also rewatched that film pretty recently. Unlike Spider-Man No Way Home, that dropped a spot for me. I just think Del Toro's Pinocchio is a better made film with a beautiful story, and I think it's the only film I've seen this decade that's made me teary-eyed. And that's quite an accomplishment. My favorite film of 2023 so far, we're only about probably 60-something% through the year, so we still got a fair bit to go. But that's going to be Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. What a beautifully made film with excellent animation and great story and character development. It's a damn shame of what I just found out, that the Beyond the Spider-Verse is going to be delayed. But I can wait. If it means this is going to be the best one yet, I can wait 10 years, honestly. I'm not kidding. Number 5. How old were you when you started YouTube? When I started YouTube, I was 14. I created my account when I was 12. I created my account in June of 2014, but I started my channel actually in April of 2016. Now, my older videos looking back at it are dog water. They absolutely suck. There's a few videos I definitely hold a fond memories with. But I am mainly talking about my old Loud House videos. My Loud House videos prior to my return in 2021. So all of my 2018 videos, I look back with a lot of cringe, honestly. A lot of my old camcorder videos too that I recorded with the laptop from like 2017 to 20 or 2016 to 2017. Then I decided I'm gonna use my freaking phone from now on. What's the point of filming in dog water quality? And yeah, I mean, I started YouTube in 2016, but I created my account in 2014. Will you guys please excuse me? I have to get a drink of water. Alright, now back to your regularly scheduled program. Anyways. So, that's that. Honestly, I don't have too much more to say about question 5. Number 6. How often do you watch TV? To be brutally honest, cable, only when I'm at my grandfather's and my uncle's. I very rarely watch cable TV. If I do watch something, I watch streaming, and honestly, I don't quite watch streaming as much as a lot of people do. I mainly watch a lot of YouTube and other websites and stuff like that. I go on the internet a lot more than I watch streaming services, but I definitely go on streaming services way more than I watch cable and stuff like that. The only time I ever watch cable, not at my grandfather's, is when I try to get live TV on Hulu to watch the Super Bowl or the World Series or something like that. That's when I get live TV, but other than that, I don't watch live TV that much at all, so really not that much. Number 7, are you excited for TMNT Mutant Mayhem? Yes, actually I am. You would have told me at the very beginning of the year what I thought of this film, I would have said, huh, that's pretty funny, I guess. John Cena and Seth Rogen and Jackie Chan are going to be in a TMNT movie. Okay. Doesn't interest me that much, but okay. Then I saw the teaser trailer. And I was like, okay, this looks cool, but it very much copies the style of Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, and Spider-Verse. So, is this just going to be another one of them? Then I saw the second trailer and I was like, okay, no, this is pretty unique. I want to watch this film. And I definitely do. I'm planning on watching it sometime next week or the week after. I'm very much excited for this film now. I like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm not the biggest fan in the world. Especially compared to when I was a kid. I loved the shit out of the Ninja Turtles when the first Nickelodeon show came out in 2012. I loved them then. Now, I think they're still cool. Definitely cool. I'm not quite as into them as much as Marvel or something like that, but they're cool. So I definitely want to see their next big screen adventure, and I will be ranking it on Letterboxd. I don't think I'm going to be giving you an initial thoughts on it, but maybe I will, but in the form of a post rather than a video. So look forward to that. Number 8, what's your favorite 2023 film so far? As I said, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. What a brilliant film with beautiful animation, great characters, and just... I already said what I said about it in my favorite 2020s films for the decade. I love it, so I'm really not going to say much else. Number 9, what long-running TV shows should end? With my audience, this is probably going to get me in a lot of trouble. One of the big ones I think that should end, and I'm really starting to feel it's freaking run now. The Loud House. I'm gonna be honest, I think it's finally time for The Loud House to come to a close. I really do. I really feel like at least when season 4 came out, I felt like the quality went down, but they didn't quite run out of ideas or anything like that. Now, you have like a whole story arc, like 8 or 9 episodes where the Louds are going on a road trip. You already did that plot in season 3. What the heck? This show, I never thought about it this way. I think season 6 was an improvement over season 5. But season 7, I'm honestly thinking might be the worst season so far. There's just not a lot of good coming out of it, and I feel the originality getting stale real quick. So it's getting to the point where I think, okay, you've been on the air for 7 years now. I think you should try to wrap it up now. I think if you're running out of ideas, they started running out of ideas when they did the live action stuff, but now, I hate to say it, I'm honestly hoping season 7 is the last season. I doubt it will be, but at this point, I could give a care less about New Loud House. There, I said it. I could care less about the newer episodes, and it's starting to get to the point where I don't look at the older episodes as fondly as I used to. It's gone so downhill for me that I may end up doing what I did in early 2022 and just permanently quit the show. I don't know. May or may not happen. We'll see. I'm going to do that one video I promised, but that may be the last Loud House video I ever release. I'm not sure. Please don't unsubscribe to me if I do. I know they're my most popular videos and stuff like that. But I've come to realize I got other ways I can make a decent audience too, so that part of my journey on this channel might be over pretty soon. I'm sorry if you guys don't like that, but it's my channel. I'm gonna do what I want with it. So some other long-running shows that I think should end. Big one is The Simpsons. The Simpsons has gone, oh my god. Take what I said about Loud House, but like times 11. You know what? At least the Loud House has only been on for 7 years. The Simpsons will be going on to 35 years next year. And it probably should have ended at the turn of the century. Which means 23 years ago. So, yeah, that show should have ended a long time ago. SpongeBob, I honestly don't feel quite as strongly as those other two for ending. Same with Family Guy. You know what? Because both of those two shows I've seen a legitimate resurgence with, I don't think SpongeBob is as good as, like, season 9B through, like, 11 right now from the few current episodes I've seen, but you know what? At least it's not SpongeBob trying not to cry for the entire day, or freaking him getting a splinter, or torturing Squidward, or something like that. So I think SpongeBob can stick around for a little bit. Same with Family Guy. The past 2 or 3 seasons of Family Guy, I feel, are better than, say, middle Family Guy or something like that. So I think that show can stick around for a little while longer, too. Now, the last show I want to talk about here is South Park. The big thing I'm going to say about South Park, and this is honestly going to be shocking to hear, because I said I love this show to death and stuff like that, and it's my favorite TV show of all time. It's very close to that or Boy Meets World. I'm not sure which one I like more. But South Park is going to be a we'll see for me. If the next 2 or 3 seasons go the way season 25 and 26 is when, I hate to say it, I'm honestly going to probably want it to just wrap up. I love this show to death, but I can finally see South Park starting to kind of go really downhill. Like, I didn't laugh nearly as much as the season 26 episodes as even like the earlier season 20s episodes, like season 21 or 22 or something like that. Now, unlike those seasons, there are actually some really good episodes in these recent seasons. My favorite episode is from the really recent seasons is the Airsoft Teenager episode 1, whatever that's called. That one's my favorite of the modern seasons. That's a really good episode. But then, most of them are just meh. I don't hate them, but I don't really like them either. So I hope in these... I will really like the movies they're releasing on Paramount Plus. I'll admit them. Pretty much all of them I like. I don't like Streaming Wars quite as much as the post-COVID specials and the COVID-related episodes and stuff like that, but the specials, I think, are the best things South Park has released in recent times. So South Park is going to be more of a we'll see. Number 10. How do you feel about Ellie? What can I say? She's a cute little Dachshund puppy. She is probably about 5 pounds now, since we've had her for a week today, actually. Today is the 1-week anniversary that we got her. She is so small and cute, and she is rambunctious. Oh my gosh. Don't hold her for more than 5 seconds or she's going to try to attack your chin. She pulled on my beard yesterday and it hurt, but I didn't do much because she's a little puppy. So of course. But yeah, no, I love Ellie to death, and I can tell we're going to have a great dog owner relationship. It's going to be awesome. Number 11. What do you think about New Jersey? Alright, so I'm no longer going to say that because you guys know I'm from New Jersey and stuff like that. It depends. You know? The state has a lot of good and a lot of bad to it. In terms of the bad, it's a pretty expensive state, and it's a very go type of state. It's very fast-paced, and in some ways, I don't really like that attitude. And to me, I've also realized it's a very, very, very politically divided state, where Republicans and Democrats just jump down each other's throat in this state. It's a very political... I know it leans more blue and stuff like that, but there's counties here that are very red, and I live in one of them, so... But there's also a ton of good stuff, such as this is one of the top 5 safest states in the country. There's beautiful wildlife in the western and southeastern part of the state. There's tons upon tons of stuff to do, especially towards New York City and Philadelphia. The shore, I pretty much like all the shore towns. They're all beautiful and stuff like that. So, anybody who says New Jersey is the armpit of the country, no, it's not quite that. It's got its issues, but you know what? It'll always have a special place in my heart. You know, I can't, I'll be rational and say it's not perfect or anything, but I think it does have more positives than negatives as a state. You know, people are relatively well off here and stuff like that compared to other states, and it's got a lot of beauty that not a lot of people know about. Case in point, I live by a very beautiful area, so no, New Jersey is not the armpit of the country. There's really no state in this country I hate at all. But New Jersey would be nowhere near the bottom of the list for me. And it's really all I gotta say about it. It's a pretty good state with a few flaws. Like, I don't like the fast-paced nature and the expenses, but you also got a good quality of life. So what else can I say? Number 12, would you rather go to the future or the past? Like I said with number 3, I'm not really looking towards the past that much anymore. I'm looking towards the future, so I would definitely pick the future. I want to see what's going to be going on with my life and stuff like that. It would be so interesting to just not even be a part of the future, but just teleport there to see what my future or what my family's future is going to be like. I think that would be way more cool than just visiting events that have already happened, because I got those memories in my head. I got them kept there. I know what happened. I don't know what the future is going to bring, so I'd rather see the future, I think. So, the past is in the past, is what I'm trying to say. So, I'd rather go to the future. Number 13, tacos or burritos? It really depends, honestly. I love both. Both can be delicious. I love Mexican food in general, but if I had to pick one, I think I'm going to go with tacos. Burritos are good, but sometimes you just get it really overstuffed, and especially at Chipotle, I feel like they give you a little too much rice and stuff like that. Like, it's the biggest portion of anything is rice, and it's like, it's not bad, but tacos, you get pretty much an equal portion of everything. Meat, sour cream, tomatoes, lettuce, guacamole. You want to, like, sometimes they put like lime juice on there, which is really cool. I feel like you can taste the taco a little more than a burrito. So, to me, personally, I think I like tacos a little more. But I have had immaculately great burritos before. Don't get me wrong, but I think I've just had more good tacos from experience. Number 14, what's your favorite generation for video games? The one I grew up the most on is Gen 6. So the PlayStation 2, GameCube, and original Xbox era. But especially the PlayStation 2, I played so many games like Crash Bandicoot, The Wrath of Cortex, SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom, the movie game from SpongeBob, Simpsons Hit and Run, iNinja, which is this relatively unknown game that I really wish they'd remake for the PlayStation 4 or 5. Which is about a ninja who basically his master is killed and he has to go like fighting all these robots and stuff like that and these ranks, which it's just such a cool game. I suggest you check it out if you have a 6th gen console. I also have a lot of great memories with 7th gen, so Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and Wii. I probably spent the most time with that console, but I feel like my memories were held the best with 6th gen because I didn't really have a 7th gen console in my room until like 2016. So most of the time I was playing 6th generation games throughout my childhood, but 7th gen has like Super Smash Brothers Brawl, Mario Galaxy, New Super Mario Brothers Wii. Out of all the 7th gen consoles, I spent the most time with the Wii. I also played a lot of Xbox 360 games, like one that I spent a ton of time on is weirdly Lego Harry Potter Years 1 through 4. I played the crap out of that game. I also played a lot of licensed games from the time on that console. When Call of Duty was like at its peak in popularity, I was playing the games on the 360. And I stank because I was only like 9 or 10 when those games were like the most popular. But I have memories with that. 8th gen was starting to get into my teenagehood, so like the Xbox One, PlayStation 4 era, that was more my teenagehood. I got that for my 8th grade. I got my PS4 for my 8th grade graduation, actually. And I still play a lot of PS4 games to this day. And my PS5 I got for Christmas of 2020. We actually managed to get a PS5 very early on, which was very lucky for me and my family. So that was awesome. My favorite generation for video games, though, is definitely Gen 6. And I never really mentioned, I have memories with Gen 5, too. So the PS1 and Nintendo 64 era, but I mainly plays those games on Virtual Console. But some of my favorite games of all time are Gen 5 games like Final Fantasy IX and Super Mario 64. Alright, number 15. How do you feel about being a part of Gen Z? I feel mixed, honestly. I'm not gonna get into anything political or anything, but to me, I feel like, guess you could say Gen Z is the most sensitive generation so far. Like, I feel like a lot can hurt their feelings and stuff like that, but maybe there's a bit of hypocrisy because they tell a lot of controversial jokes and stuff. I don't know. It's mainly stuff I've observed from TikToks and what people have said about TikTok and stuff like that. Because good God, is TikTok a freaking huge part of Gen Z. Oh my God. And guess what? I have an account. I have like 2 videos on it. I don't give a crap about TikTok. Or making TikToks. There's some definitely good TikToks, without question. But I don't get quite how it's like the number 1 app in the world right now. I don't quite get that, you know? Anyways, this is just me complaining about TikTok, but I don't like also how some of the older generations are telling us, oh, we're destined to fail and stuff like that. And, well, I don't think that's completely true. Like, we're young. our generation is, for the most part, barely out of college, and out of our youngest generation, part of our generation, they're not even in middle school. The youngest members of Gen Z are not even in middle school. So, I feel like some people judge our generation a little too early, especially because we're young. Now, some of the older Gen Z, I feel a little less sympathy for, because especially those born in the 90s, I feel like should grow up a little more and stuff like that. But not the entirety of Gen Z is all that bad. You know? Especially because, what is the median age? Like 16, 17 for our generation? So, we're barely entering the world, so I guess you could say, just wait and see how our generation is before you go judging it a little too much. As for how I feel about being a part of Gen Z, it's what I am, plain and simply. That's it. But I feel like Gen Z, well, has some immaturities and stuff like that, has a lot of room to grow, too. And I think we will. So, give it time. Number 16. What are your favorite and least favorite countries? Oh, God. Oh, God. Okay. Well, a lot of this is judging off of books I've read and reports I've read and stuff like that. I've never been to these countries and stuff like that, but these are a combination of, like, safety and countries I'd love to visit and stuff like that. Well, the worst countries are, like, stuff I've heard a lot of bad stuff about. So I'll go with 3 for each. I'd say my favorite countries are going to be Iceland, France, and Canada. While my least favorite countries are going to be North Korea, Afghanistan, and Somalia. You just hear non-stop bad stuff about these countries and stuff like that. I've never been, so I'm not going to be so ignorant as to say, oh, these countries have nothing good about them. Because even... Okay, I don't think there's much good about North Korea. But the other two, I'd say have a couple of good things about them. They have interesting history and stuff like that. I can't really say much positive about either. While we talk about Iceland, France, and Canada, these are just countries I want to explore more of. I'm familiar with Canada because my family lives in Newfoundland, and I'm familiar with that part. But, just like the U.S., I want to go to the Rockies area of Canada. I want to go to British Columbia. I want to legitimately visit Toronto for a while, rather than just going through the airport. I'd say that's cool, but France, I just want to freaking visit that country and visit what I think is, like, the best history in the entire world and the most beautiful castles in the entire world. It's freaking gorgeous. But Iceland might be my favorite country in the entire world. Everything combined to make that country is just everything I'd want. Beauty and extreme safety. What else could you ask for? Iceland is an incredible country. And it's definitely in my top 3 for a visit. So in terms of, like, these 3, I'd go Canada for wanting to just explore more of it. For pure visitation, I'd go France. It's #1 country in the world I want to visit in the future. And just overall best, I'd probably go with Iceland. There's just so much good to that country with everything combined that I'd love to visit. Please excuse that. I'm not trying to sound ignorant or anything, but I want to give you a little more of my view of what I think of the world and stuff like that in our countries, because I love geography. North Korea is just about the only country in the entire world that I don't see much positive about. I guess there's not as many terrorist attacks or anything as other countries, but that country is just a freaking regime that has brainwashed all of its citizens to think that the whole rest of the world is evil and stuff like that when you don't follow their exact rules, that's it. That, to me, sounds like the worst country in the world, so I'm willing to go to most countries and visit them, or at least see that they don't have all negatives to them. So, that's just my opinion on that. Number 17, home-cooked meals or takeout. You can't compare the best home-cooked meal. Or what am I trying to say? The best home-cooked meal kicks the freaking shit out of any takeout I've ever had. Takeout is good. You can get some really good ones, but the best of that is when you go to a really nice restaurant and stuff like that and get a good steak. I don't know if even that has been comparable to the best meals I've had at home. Meals cooked by my family are freaking delicious. You got my mom's cheesy bake, and you got so many other good things. You got my stepfather's French toast. You got my dad's mac and cheese. You got they're the best, better than anything you'd get from a restaurant. Like, one time, my stepfather cooked a homemade pizza. I don't know if I've ever had pizza from a pizza place that was better. My grandmother cooks some of the best homemade Chinese food and lasagna and cookies and stuff like that. I'll tell you one thing that my grandmother who passed away made that she made a mean mac and cheese. That was at least on par with the one my dad made. That was just, everyone loved it. Everyone ate it up. She also made great ribs. You can't get homemade cooking at many restaurants, at least not as good as like the way my family makes it and stuff like that. So I'd much prefer a nice, good home cooked meal over takeout. But I never object to takeout because takeout is good too. You can get pizza and Chinese food, and now there's an Indian restaurant in my county, so I never object to it, but the best home-cooked meals are better than any takeout. And that's where I'll leave that. Number 18, what's your favorite sport? I gotta come down to 3 with this. One that has gone downhill for me and I don't like as much as I used to. And if you remember the beginning of my channel, I love this sport. I don't like it as much as I used to. That would be basketball. So many kids at my school love basketball that I feel like I liked it more too. I still love dribbling the basketball and stuff like that on my driveway and stuff like that, but to me, my 3 favorites are American football, soccer, and baseball. Baseball hasn't gone downhill for me. I just don't want to play it like as a sport on a team anymore. Because, first of all, I'm 21 and I'm almost out of college age and stuff like that. So I don't want to play with a team, but watching the sport and watching the legacy and my favorite sports team of all time, the Toronto Blue Jays, just freaking love it. American football is another sport that's never gone downhill for me. I love the intensity of it. I love watching my favorite football team, the Detroit Lions, just stink most years, but it's the freaking fact that I've loved them since I was 10 years old that keeps me loving them and loyal to them. But a sport in the past year that I've really grown to appreciate is soccer. Because I've come to realize that is the world's sport. Most countries in the world's favorite sport is soccer. It dominates Europe and Latin America. They love soccer. And I really love the history of it. I love the fact that it's the world sport. I love watching the World Cup. And the more I watch of it, the more I'm like, I want to watch more of Lionel Messi. He's a freaking excellent athlete and is my favorite soccer player now. So, I've really grown an appreciation for soccer in the past year or so. So, my favorite sports are baseball, American football, and world football or soccer. Number 19. When will Willow and Luna and GD Plush come to a close or end? I'm telling you this right now, GD Plush is ending before Willow and Luna as a series does. GD Plush is going to be ending in December. I haven't officially announced it yet. I was going to announce it in the next update video, which should be coming out very soon. But GD Plush is officially coming to an end in December. And, spoiler, Season 8 is going to be the last season. But, Season 8 is only going to be a 5-episode story arc, which is going to pretty much all just be the finale of the series. These 5 episodes are going to be the same event, they're just all going to leave off on cliffhangers and stuff like that, and it'll be ending the GD Plush universe forever. GD Plush the movie part 5 is going, while it's not going to be the ending, it will be the last GD Plush feature-length film, and it will be leading into the finale with a freaking gargantuan cliffhanger that I am so excited for you guys to see. But you're going to have to wait till November to see that. As I revealed in my post, GD Plush the movie part 5 is delayed to November due to me working on the script a little more and perfecting it and stuff like that. So, wait for that. GD Plush is coming to an end in December. As for Willow and Luna is without question going to be going into 2024. There will be more episodes coming next year. More episodes coming this year. Season 2 is going to be coming to a close either at the end of this month or next month. Season 3 is probably going to be starting up in September. With this, we're going to be seeing more adventures with Ellie and Willow and Luna and even Scrappy and stuff like that. All go on epic adventures in what is admittedly a much less continuity-driven season. It's not this epic series of, like, epic events like GD Plush is. It's a much more simple story, which is what old GD Plush used to be. It used to be simple. It wasn't, oh, Mario's the freaking chosen one. Mario was the hero of the Mushroom Kingdom and stuff like that, but his biggest quest in the early days was, like, getting new shoes and stuff like that, not frickin' saving the universe from an immortal skeleton. Which is what I finally come to realize is sort of what I think is wrong with modern GD Plus. It's just too grand and epic. The more simple the plot is, the better I like the modern episodes I make. Willow and Luna is always going to stay simple. It's going to be a simple series and stuff like that, with the most epic story is going to be the movie, but it's just them saving me, Andrew, from the evil Croc. It's much more innocent and, well, it may tackle some serious subjects on occasion. It's mostly going to be a silly, fun series and stuff like that, so I see Willow and Luna lasting maybe more than another year. While GD Plus is ending in less than 6 months. We just gotta wrap up everything pretty much. As for when the next GD Plus episode is coming, as you guys can clearly see, I don't have the motivation for GD Plus that I used to. I don't know, I'm just sort of getting sick of it, admittedly. I don't hate it or anything, but I've been doing it for 6 years now, so when I first wanted to end it, was kind of because I felt like I should have, I guess you could say. I think a lot of YouTubers I watched was quitting YouTube and stuff like that, so I felt like I needed to end an era of my channel, I guess you could say. Second time is the first time I legitimately felt like actually ending the series, so in December 2019, I saw it as the next decade is coming and stuff like that. Just end plush videos. That is actually where I feel like I should have. Actually, no. You know what? Originally, that is where I thought I should have ended it. Where I really feel like I should have freaking just let it stay put is GD Plus the Movie Part 4. That was actually a brilliant ending to the series. I really think after that movie, this is my longest scripted project I've ever made to this day. I really think it is the hardest project I've ever worked on. To this day, that movie is the hardest project I've ever worked on. That movie took almost half a year from script to screen. I planned that at the beginning of Season 5. Like, as soon as Season 5 premiered, I was already planning that finale. Because I figured after Woody's Wyoming Adventures Season 1, I wanted to do one last season of GD Plus to sort of give you a finale. Then, I got bored and made a Season 6. Admittedly, that's why I made a Season 6. And then from there, while we've had good episodes, it's just been stale since Season 6. I feel like the show should have ended with Season 5. And then Season 7, it's not, actually I do probably feel like it's better than Season 6, but I just don't have the motivation to make plush videos anymore. So, I'm not saying it's over. I want to make at least 5 or 6 episodes before the 5th movie and the final, 5 episodes, but I've gone on long enough about this one. So, GD Plush, the end of this year. Willow and Luna, I don't know. Probably second half of 2024 or sometime in 2025. And last but not least, number 20. What do we have to look forward to for the rest of 2023 on the channel? Okay. I do have some big plans for the channel for the second half of the year. And for the rest of the year, I'm not going to reveal it here. I'm just going to say we have some big projects coming up. They will be revealed in a due direct, which will be coming this week. So I hope you guys like this video. That's about it, guys. My throat is starting to hurt from how long I've been talking, so I'm going to take a break now. And that's about it, guys. Gaming Do here, and see you later. Bye.